The Celtics are crying foul after getting bullied by the dastardly Orlando Magic. But first, the Lakers looking for a starting lineup change as they head into a very important game 4 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. About 70% of you watching this are not subscribed, so fix that. Hit the subscribe button. Joining me is Donnie Freeman. Donnie, how you doing?
Just I'm existing.
You're
You know,
surviving.
I'm just I don't know. I feel like today I expected to wake up with a certain verve and certain feeling, and that's not the case.
Yeah, certainly. The Lakers incredibly disappointing. I did a full film breakdown on what they did, the numerous ways they just handed that game over to Minnesota. It was incredible. But now JJ Redick, after the game, was asked if he considered playing small ball full time. The Lakers lineups with Jackson Hayes have been largely ineffective. He said, "We'll look at everything, but still believe in Jackson Hayes." Typically, when a coach says, well, a coach, if they're not going to change their starting lineup, will just immediately shut that down.
Yeah.
Instead, he said, we'll look at everything, but doesn't want to necessarily announce what he's doing yet. So he says, we still believe in Jackson Hayes. Donnie, to me, that says a lineup change is probably coming to the Lakers. And it would make sense when you look, their second most used lineup has a net rating of nearly minus 50. And that's the one including Jackson Hayes in this series. He's just
Good
been
Lord.
ineffective, has not been very active off the ball, particularly, has not been reading what's happening on the floor very well, and hasn't been a lob threat either. The Wolves have essentially shut that down. Are the Lakers at a point down 2-1 in the series where they have to start trying to throw some curveballs at the Wolves, and that could mean a starting lineup change?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're the team down at this point, you need to start switching things up, and I think that makes the most sense. It's not really like a surprise. What it is that like no. By the way, on really quick on the JJ thing, he also said he believes in him, which is kind of a kiss of death because he said the same thing about JHS earlier this year. Never played him, and he got traded.
True.
He said the same about Dalton. Actually, towards the end of the season, still didn't really change anything. So saying I believe in so and so doesn't really mean anything. So I'd expect for Jackson to sit because he's getting 8 minutes, 9 minutes. He's been ineffective in those minutes. I'm not really sure why he's playing anymore. And the thing is that I don't think this means Jackson can't be useful in the playoffs. I think that, you could get into a certain matchup where he all of a sudden winds up being, their 5th or 6th best player, and you need him out there for 20, 25 minutes. But this is not that series. And you would think that it is because you would want to maybe try to combat their size with size. But the reality is of the Lakers lineup is they don't have that kind of flexibility. They don't have the ability to really do it, not in the way that Minnesota does. The Lakers size is putting a bunch of 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" guys out there. I saw something that says they have the tallest average height across the league because they've got so many guys that are all in that range. But that's not, when you're playing against Minnesota, that's not really going to do too much. So Jackson's kind of out there for largely no reason. Like, he's not giving you rim protection. He's not rebounding. You don't really want him to switch too much on Ant, for example. He's not doing anything.
Yeah, and that's just it. If he's ineffective while he's out there, your margins are too. This is the playoffs. You have no margin for error, and they're making enough mistakes on their own. I mean, dribbling the ball off their foot and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you can't have a lineup out there even for a couple of minutes. It's too close in a playoff game. You can't even go a couple of minutes with a guy out there who's ineffective. And right now, that's certainly Jackson Hayes. Now, that's not to say other guys have been playing well. Luka was vomiting all day yesterday and then tried to play. He looked more pale than usual, Donnie, in that game. I was definitely worried about him. But now, starting lineup change. What's interesting is, the Lakers trying to match size with the Wolves isn't really going to work. I wouldn't be shocked. Now, I know Dorian Finney-Smith would be the knee-jerk reaction of the guy to turn to, but their lineup that's actually had the most success has been their starters minus Jackson Hayes, but with Gabe Vincent in the mix. Do you consider going extra small and putting in Gabe Vincent? Is it Jared Vanderbilt? Do you go with maybe the favorite, Dorian Finney-Smith? What change do you make there?
Yeah, I think you may still leave DFS off the bench just so you have somebody off the bench that you can go to for those minutes. Because if all of a sudden everybody's starting, you have to kind of make sure that you're playing your starters. It just kind of messes up the rotation a lot. But I think you could maybe get a like for like switch personally with Vando and Hayes. I do wonder if Hayes, if he gets benched, would still play bench minutes. I do
He
wonder
could.
about that because this team doesn't have. I mean, they're already
Yeah, who
playing.
else are you going to go to? Is
They're already
it
playing like
do
6
you
guys.
unleash?
Like,
So many fans have been telling me they need to play Dalton Connect. Is that the answer? You unleash Dalton Connect on the Wolves?
I guess like they've
He's
mostly
going to
been
get switch
playing
on it so fast.
throughout this series. They played like 6.5 guys, really is what it is. Like they've gotten a couple minutes here and there from Goodwin, and he played a good game last game, so maybe he deserves a few more minutes. But like Vando is not getting anything close to like 15. He's capping out around 12, 13, 10. He also had a good game. But yeah, I think Gabe could be somebody that you plug in there. I think that with him though, he just brings, I think, more spacing than obviously than Jackson, shooting, a little bit more ball handling, a little bit more creation, somebody that the defense has to be worried about while he's out there. And Gabe's also really good at doing the intangible things. He's good at setting those off screens. He's good at relocating, all these different things. So I can see that being part of the reason why Gabe would fit pretty well with that group. And I wouldn't mind that, but I think you have a more like for like switch with Vando.
Yeah.
And I think if you could stick Vando in and just say, hey, Vando, go guard Ant from the tip for like 5-6 minutes, just start the game. That may be beneficial.
Yeah, just to start the game with energy. And I agree with you on that. I do think if I had to pick, I think I would go Jared Vanderbilt. No, he doesn't provide shooting, but the energy he provides, the question would be, can he stay on the floor? 5 fouls last game in 13 minutes, but energy from the get-go, maybe that's what's needed for this Lakers team. But sounds like a starting lineup change could indeed be coming ahead of tomorrow's afternoon pivotal game 4. The Wolves win, and they're up 3-1, and we all know what that means. The Lakers win, and it's 2-2, and LA reclaims home court advantage. So still anybody's series, but game 4 may end up ultimately deciding the way this plays out. All right, we're going to get to the Celtics and them crying about the way the Magic are playing basketball. We'll get to that right after this. The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and there's nothing like seeing a playoff game in person. That's why I'm thrilled to have SeatGeek as the sponsor of this video. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. Right now, you can get tickets to the MLB season, and the NBA playoffs are right around the corner. I love going to live events using SeatGeek. For me, it's about the value. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So you look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. I love that. Takes all of the worry out of buying tickets. And you know, I came through for you guys. Use our code Bulletin10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code Bulletin10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Again, big shout out to SeatGeek. Super thrilled to have them on as a sponsor for the Basketball Bulletin. All right, we're going to get into the Celtics side here. But, Donnie, I know you had something about the Wolves real quick before we get into this.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to ask you if you thought there was anything in particular on that Wolves topic, because we are on Bulletin. We have to keep it a little neutral, right? Do you thought that they did good, specifically in that last game?
That the Wolves did well?
Correct, yeah.
I mean, I thought they did a great job. Once Ant said they had no idea Luka was sick. I call bullshit on that. Yeah. To me, it looked like, and they would go after him anyway, but I thought they did a great job. As soon as they realized, whether they realized he was sick or not, as soon as they realized that Luka was diminished, they just kept attacking him and attacking him and attacking him. Jaden McDaniels, he got 30 points because he kept driving past Luka, and the Lakers' rotation defense was terrible. And then they were great in transition. They really, we talk about punishing teams for their choices. The Wolves did a fantastic job punishing the Lakers for their mistakes. Every time the Lakers made a mistake, they capitalized. The Lakers dribble the ball off their foot. The Wolves take it down the other way and score. LeBron forgets to catch the ball on LeBron was great in that game, but LeBron forgets to catch the ball, and the Wolves take it down and they score. I think they even got an and one on it, and that was, I think, a McDaniels one. So they did a great job capitalizing and taking advantage of the opportunities that the Lakers gave them through some really careless turnovers on LA's part. So, credit to the Wolves. The Wolves just went, oh, you're going to mess up like that? Cool. We're scoring on you. And not every team's going to do that. The good teams are going to do that. They're going to recognize your mistakes and take advantage of it. And that's what the Wolves did.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with mostly everything you said. I left that game feeling like the Lakers largely gave that one up. But what I will say to Minnesota's credit is I did think that they did a great job with Jaden, specifically attacking closeouts and catching us mid rotation. There was just and then also there were times where it was late on the clock, or he would catch the ball on a kick out, Jaden specifically, and he'd have Austin or Luka specifically on him, and he just got them straight to the basket repeatedly. Yep. And if Jaden is developing that and he's gonna play like that, then that's going to be really tough for any team to beat. And the Lakers in this situation being down 2-1, I think they have to pay better attention to Jaden, because they can't. He's had 2 blow up games in this series already that you're not expecting. So that's huge. He's been awesome.
Yeah, they've got to pay better attention to detail in general. They have to bring and I did a film study on them, and they were not locked in at all during this game. But the Lakers, we've seen this now in 2 of the 3 games of the series. The Lakers will beat themselves. The Wolves will not. The Wolves will say, cool, we'll take that and go and punish you for doing stuff that you shouldn't do. So
the Wolves have won 8 of the 12 quarters in this series as well.
Yeah. They're again, right now, they're not making mistakes. The Lakers are making a lot of mistakes, and the Wolves are capitalizing on those. So we'll see. Again, game 4, pivotal. All right, here's what's going on with Celtics and Magic. Right now, Orlando is down 2-1 in the series. I thought the Celtics would sweep the Magic. The Magic won by 2 in game 3. But the Celtics immediately, after the Magic win 1 game, let's face it, this series is ending in 5. Right? There's no way. Like, the Magic aren't going to win another game. Nobody's expecting them to do anything here. The Magic win 1 game. They shock everybody. And immediately the Celtics start saying the Magic are being too physical. Jaylen Brown said there might be a fight breaking out or something. Oh, no, Jaylen, not a fight. He said because
Joe Mazzulla wants that.
That's right. Joe Mazzulla is like going, yes, that's exactly what I want. It's starting to feel like it's not even basketball, and the refs are not controlling the environment, so it is what it is. Then he throws out, if you want to fight it out, we can do that. We can fight to see who goes to the second round. I think this is the Celtics. I think they're pushing this button too early, to be honest. I think they're pushing this button too early, because what this is the Celtics getting it out there so the officials know, don't let the Magic be too physical. The Magic, they don't have any other choice. They're the weaker team. They can't score. Their offense is terrible. Their offense is awful. It's held them back all season long. The one thing they have is really stingy, tough, physical defense. The only thing they can do is muck up this game and turn it into a fight. That is their only chance. That's their only way to keep these games close, is to turn it into a physical, messy game. So, of course, they're going to try and do this stuff. If you're the Celtics, though, and you're putting this out there now, you want the officials in the next game to give you the calls, to call it tighter, to not, because, they're threatening there could be a fight. We'd better really clamp down on these calls. We better call a tight game here. That's going to benefit the Boston Celtics. I don't think the Celtics need to do that to get out of the series. They're going to be out of this series in 5 games regardless. I'm not pushing this button with the refs until the Eastern Conference Finals, and they've got the Cavs. And maybe the Cavs aren't as physical of a team, but I think the Celtics are crying wolf a little too early here for my liking, because, again, I don't think they need to worry about the Magic being overly physical. They're going to get out of this series just fine regardless.
I feel like that's the theme of these playoffs. They seem a little more physical than the last few years, at least just to me. Maybe I'm just misremembering, but yeah, I don't know that you need to push that button so early. Just meet physicality with physicality. Now, if it's reckless, that's entirely different.
That's it. And maybe that's my Lakers bias coming in, if I'm being honest here. Maybe if the Celtics are concerned, you've already got Jason Tatum with the wrist thing, right? Jaylen Brown's dealing with injuries. Well, if they're concerned, like, we're going to get hurt. And we saw, the Celtics saw what happened last year in the playoffs. They had all the teams in front of them that they wound up getting hurt. Not their fault, but teams wound up getting very injured. And sometimes the playoffs can be a war of attrition. So that's the one place, if I can throw a counter argument against myself here, is that if the Celtics feel like the Magic are actually going to seriously injure somebody, and that will diminish their ability to make a deep playoff run this year, that will diminish their ability to defend their title, I get it, right? That makes sense. And perhaps that's more what Jaylen Brown is kind of leaning towards here. Otherwise, if this is just, it's the series is getting a little chippy and getting a little physical. I think it's a little too early for that. If they feel like the flagrant fouls and stuff like that are legit going to hurt their players, and it's not necessarily going to stop them from getting out of this series, but maybe next round, maybe the round after that, those start to pile up. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, and like I was saying, they're already banged up, so I can understand
Yes.
that piece of it. I just think it's a little weird. I mean, like I said, I didn't watch this game, so maybe that's because the reason why he's saying this stuff is because of that. But saying if you want to tussle, we can do all that. We could fight about it. Like I don't know, but maybe like I said, there were some reckless ones here. I'd have to go back and watch it. But with that context being there, if that's not the case, then I do think that they just need to go out there and again meet physicality with physicality, because I think as a whole the playoffs are very
They've been very physical
this year. And there's also it's not only that, excuse me, there's also, like we talked about yesterday, there's a lot of like positioning in the media right now with these guys. Like they're saying a lot of different things back and forth. It's really chippy for some reason.
Dylan Brooks calling Draymond Green a dirty player, right? Like I kind of dig it. This is playoff basketball though, right?
Like I said, Hero and Garland, they're going back and forth a little bit last time, and it's all over the place. So I mean, maybe that's some of what this is with Jaylen Brown. But yeah, they shouldn't be too worried in terms of the basketball specifically, because they're obviously going to win this series. And they only lost by 2 points. And if you were to play that game 100 times over, I'm sure they win like 90 of them. So I'm not really worried about it.
The Celtics will be fine there. They'll be fine. We all know what the East is going to result in. Cavs Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Nobody else is going to change that. And we're all just waiting for that eventuality right now for that series to start. And that should be a pretty epic series. But all right, everybody, give us your thoughts in the comments section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Till next time. See ya and stay safe.